Kobe had one. Jordan had one. Deion Sanders had one. We're talking game day rituals today on Turf Talk. Welcome to Turf Talk, where we teach you how to dominate your sport and take your game to the top, no matter what sport you play. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Turf Talk. Is this episode 4? Yeah. This is episode 4. Today, we are going to be talking about game day rituals. We are right now on site of one of our favorite locations to train athletes during our summer athlete program. We are at Whitefish Bay Football Field. Brand new turf out here. Rubber infill. Our guys really like it. Keeps the guys healthy. It's a great field. Am I still in the shot? Yeah. Okay, we're all good. Our favorite spot to train. But here, tomorrow night, this field and many other football fields across the state of Wisconsin are going to be filled with hungry, dedicated, athletic football players from all over the state of Wisconsin, which many of them we've actually worked with here at Top Line Athlete Strength and Conditioning. Now, with that being said, tomorrow may be game day, but the fact of the matter is this: even though tomorrow is game day, your game day ritual will start today, which is Thursday, the day before the game. So again, today's topic is game day rituals. Every athlete's had one. Britt, I'm sure you had one. I'm sure at football, soccer, lacrosse, fistball, it doesn't matter what you play, you've got some things that you do to make sure that you're prepared when you go into game day. So I'm going to give you a few examples of some of my favorite game day rituals, even some of the pros' game day rituals, and some things that you might want to take and use in your game day rituals going into tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday or whenever you're going to be playing a sport. Now, for me, I was a baseball player, so I had some specific things that I did that would help me get prepared for each game. One of them was music. One of those first things was music. The day before the game, I was always making sure I had the right music in my head. It would calm me down. It would put me in a good state. It would help me focus on what the main objective was going to be that following day. Now, I'm sure some of you guys out there can already start to think of some of those songs that get you hyped up, whether it's Eminem or Chief Keef or Ludacris, Lil Wayne, whoever else. What do we got now, Young? We got A Boogie with the Hoodie. We got... Who's the one everyone likes now? Lil Baby, Da Baby, all sorts of babies. Whatever it is that's getting you amped up, make sure you have a playlist set. But what can you do the day before the game that can get you prepared? The number one thing you need to have set the day before the game is going to be your nutrition. You need to know what you're going to eat the day before a game that primes your body, that digests easy, that allows you to be refueled and regenerated and strong for your game, but also feel light and athletic and have the ability to move. So that's not going to be things like ice cream and cookies and candies and cakes. We're talking oatmeal. We're talking slow digesting carbohydrates along with some quick ones. We need some oats. We need some white rice. We need some fruit, some oranges, some apples, we need some coconut water to keep you hydrated. We need some lean protein sources, or even some foods like salmon or steak, some things that can fuel you up and make sure that you're ready not only the day before, but the day of your game. Whatever that would be, meet, game, match, whatever you're calling it, you need to make sure you have some rituals, and nutrition is a big one. The day before the game, you also need to focus on sleep. All of you athletes out there who are staying up till 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning playing 2K, you are severely missing out on some important rest, some recovery, some rejuvenation, and also putting yourself at an opportunity where you might be able to get injured because you didn't get enough rest. So make sure that sleep is important. I'm just going to go out and say 8 or 9 hours. You could probably get away with maybe a little bit less, but to play it on the safe side, make sure you get enough sleep, because when you get out here, it's too late to prepare. It's too late to be well rested. It doesn't matter what song you're listening to. If you get out on the field and you didn't get enough sleep or rest, you're not going to be thinking clear. Your confidence won't be where it could be, and you're going to be behind the 8 ball. So sleep and nutrition, boom, the day before, make sure they're dialed in. Make sure you know what you're going to eat the following day. The next thing, study, film, prepare, know the game plan. If you play a team sport, soccer, football, baseball, make sure you know who's on the mound. Make sure if you're a football player, you understand the opposing team's playbook so you can diagnose and design a plan to make sure that you can appropriately adjust during the game and know what's coming at you before it ever even happens, okay? Other simple things, game day rituals, again, they start the day before. Make sure you have all of your equipment. I can vividly remember a time in high school, right before a high school football game. We're in the locker room, right about ready to do our walkthroughs. I go to throw my jersey on, and my jersey's not there. I fly out, spikes on and everything. I hop in my Eagle Talon, or it was a Eagle Talon Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, and I'm going maybe 100 miles an hour down Pilgrim Road to try and get to my house. Peel in, slide into the driveway, run inside, get my jersey, just happened to make it back. But again, I wasn't prepared, and I hadn't been prepared a lot in my athletics career until I was a little bit older, and that's what I want to save you guys from, is being unprepared for sport. Because again, once you touch this turf, if you don't have what you need, you could be screwed. So, making sure that you have your shoes, your spikes, your wristbands, your headphones, whatever it is that you need, your food, your protein shakes, your coconut water, your sodium tablets, making sure that you have your shin guards if you're a soccer player, your gloves if you're a football player, making sure you have an extra pair of socks in case you sweat through them and you need to change them so you don't get blisters. If you can plan a little bit, just like in business or in relationships or in finances, if you can plan ahead, you can oftentimes save yourself a lot of headaches. And that goes for all you athletes out there. And if you're a parent watching this, some of these things, with your younger athletes, rookies like myself when we were younger, we need a parent to be able to just make a checklist and say, here, do you have all of these things laid out? Maybe we should make one of those, Britt, a little athlete checklist. Here's what you guys need to make your job a lot easier when you get to the field, because that's what it's all about. Last thing you want to do is be trying to think when you get to the field, or when you want that all taken care of so you can just focus on the task at hand, okay? Speaking of that, I remember Deion Sanders, one of the best all-time defensive backs and cornerbacks in the NFL. One of his game day rituals is he would lay out all of his clothes, his uniform, everything he was going to wear for the next day. He would lay it all out on the ground. There's pictures of it in the locker room for him, from the socks to the shoes, to the helmet, to his visors, to his headbands that he wore around his neck because he was a little showy. But his thing was, he said this: if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. Okay? Make sure that if you want to look good on the field, you have all of that laid out. It's part of your ritual. It's part of your game planning and preparation. Yeah, you got to do the study. Yeah, you've got to communicate with your coach. Yes, you have to make sure you have the proper food in you. And yes, you have to make sure that you have all of the belongings that you need. For me, it was a little difficult. I'm a catcher in baseball, or I was a catcher. Still could if I needed to. I could get down and handle business down in the crouch. But I needed to have shin guards, my mask, pine tar, batting gloves. I needed an extra pair of contacts in case dirt, as oftentimes as a catcher, a lot of dirt would get kicked back up into my face. So when that happens, naturally, your contacts can sometimes shift and move on you. And like I had many times, I had to switch those out mid-game because one would get clogged up. So make sure you have that. Make sure you have backups. Make sure you're hydrated and you're ready to roll. At the end of the day, this is your game. This is your mission. And if you want to play Division I or Division II or professional athletics, you're going to have your game tight and be ready to perform when you show up to the field, especially on a Friday night for football, guys. Make sure you guys have your game tight and you're ready to roll. Now, other pregame rituals that you should be doing while you're in the locker room is making sure you and the coach are on the same page, as I mentioned earlier. Making sure that your game plan aligns with his game plan. In a quick 4 or 5 minute conversation, maybe even sometimes 2 minutes with your coach, can make sure that you have the same agenda that he has so you can be ready to rock and roll when the whistle blows and the game starts. We want to make sure that that's part of the game. Again, are there any other ones that you have, Britstar? Game day rituals?
No, I think you hit a lot of them.
No, you got to have one. You never had any game day rituals for soccer?
I put my shoes on differently.
She put her shoes on differently. So here, let's get into the nitty gritty. How did you do that?
I would do my right shoe.
Right shoe.
Right shin guard.
Right shoe, right shin guard.
Yep.
Okay.
Left shin guard, left shoe.
And then left shin guard, left shoe.
And then tie right shoe, tie left shoe.
And then you tie them both. So that's pretty out there. That's kind of like me. I clip my fingernails before every baseball game. Even if it was like a double header and I had already clipped them the day, like the game before it, I would clip them again. Because as a catcher, when you're blocking balls, if you have long fingernails and it hits your fingernail and bends it back, it can be pretty painful. So you got to make sure you protect them. So Britt had some weird ones. I'm sure you guys have some weird ones out there. If you do, comment them below so we can get an idea. Maybe add some of these into our pregame checklist, our pregame ritual checklist that we can put out for everybody to benefit from. But make sure you guys are prepared. Again, have your nutrition dialed up. Have your hydration dialed up, because when the game starts, you don't want to be worried about anything other than accomplishing your mission, being your best, performing your best, and playing at the highest level. So that's all for today's Turf Talk. We're not going to go into a million different things. We're going to keep it simple for you guys. We want to make sure that you understand, if you want to be ready when you hit the turf, you've got to be prepared the night before. So make sure you guys are on top of it. If you have some special game day rituals that we have never heard of, drop them in the comments below. It's Thursday. It's the 29th of August. We're excited to see you guys play over the next couple weeks. We've coached hundreds of guys that are going to be playing tomorrow, even tonight with some Thursday night games. We're excited to see it. If you've got a son or a daughter who is an athlete, plays soccer, plays basketball, plays football, plays baseball, rugby, whatever it is, wrestling, make sure you send them into the Top Shop so we can get them physically prepared. There's a big difference between skill work and strength and physical work. If you don't do the strength training, if your son or daughter doesn't do it, if you're just sending them to the sports camp and you're sending them to the kicking camp and you're sending them to the wide receiver or quarterbacks camp, that's great, that's skill work. But if you don't prepare them physically now in 2019, they're gonna go up against one of the other freaks that we get our hands on and coach. And unfortunately, if it's skill for skill, but one person's been in a gym like ours for 6 months, and your kid hasn't, unfortunately, they are going to get dusted, dominated, destroyed out on the field. That's just the way it is. It's 2019. You got to take care of all the phases of the game, the mental, the physical, and then obviously the skill portion of things, and make sure that your athletes are ready to go. So make sure they get in here, contact us. Phone number is 262-309-5550. My name is Brett Summers. We got a whole staff here that's ready to take your kid from being a rookie to being a veteran in just a short period of time, and being physically and mentally prepared for whatever the sport is that they play. Make sure you get them in here. We've been doing this since 2008. It's a decade. It's thousands of athletes. You even got one guy right now in the Steelers in the NFL who's playing, who used to spend his days and his 5 a.m.s at the Top Shop with me getting ready for high school football. So hey, if your son or daughter wants to go and take their game to the top, bring them in here to the Top Shop. We'll see you guys soon. Drop a comment below. Thanks for joining us. Let us know if you hated the video, loved it, if it helped you, or if it didn't. Either way, your comments will help us out. We'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, come on, come with me real quick. Take a look around, Britster. Pan that thing around here. We're out on the field right now. It's Thursday afternoon. We could be anywhere in the world right now, anywhere in the world, but we're preparing some really, really good video information to help all of you guys out. I highly suggest that you guys check out our YouTube page, our Spotify podcast, The Brett Summers Show, where we're giving you guys all sorts of different information to help you guys prepare for the game of life. It's not just for athletes, but we do have a lot of content for athletes. It's not just for people in business, but we do have a lot of information for people in business. Make sure that you guys check it out. We've got free information, some of my best stuff. Teach you guys how to step up your financial game, your physical game, your emotional game, your relational game. your faith game, step up your life in general. If you have some areas where you want to improve, we're trying to help you guys get there. Even on a Thursday afternoon in about 90-degree weather, we're trying to get you guys dialed in. So give us the follow, subscribe, check us out on the YouTube, on the Facebook, the Instagram. Just follow us wherever you're at. We're going to help you out. See you soon.